Okay, today is a very special day. That is May 4th, May 4th Day, or we know some people call that Youth Day. And our topic is the future belongs to the youth generation. And as usual, in the beginning, Joe, please make a self-introduction, please.
Great. Hey guys, my name is Joe Martins, and I spent the past 20 plus years working with Fortune 500 companies in North America as a software engineer, business analyst in marketing, sales, technical writing, presenting, speaking. And about 5 years ago, I came over to China and began helping manufacturers there to sell their products and services into the North American market. And over the past year, I began helping people throughout China to improve their conversational English, their listening and their speaking abilities with the English language. And now, in collaboration with Dr. Lyu Guo, I am doing these live streams where we discuss a variety of topics, hopefully interesting to you, and we discuss it in the English language so that you can hear the terminology and the types of arguments we make and discussions that we have. So, yeah, take it away, Dr. Lyu Guo.
Okay, thank you for your introduction. Let me introduce myself. My name is Lyu Guo, founder of Suntrans and founder of Suntrans Consulting LLC in New York. 我名字叫吕国，是阳光创意的创始人，也是纽约阳光创意咨询公司的创始人。一家是翻译公司，一家是咨询公司。I graduated from Northwestern University, specialized in biology, and graduated from Northwestern University about 2000, and went to work as a senior high school English teacher, and then I came back to Beijing and specialized in mineralogy, petroleum, and mineral deposits at China University of Geosciences. At the same time, I worked for the globally largest mining company BHP Billiton as a translator and prospector, mineral exploration and prospecting public copper deposits for several years. And 我是2000年在西北师范大学生物学专业毕业。本科毕业之后呢，我去到我的母校东华中学高中英语教学，从事高中英语教学。同时呢，我又在兰州大学学习了我的第二本科学历，是英语教育。在03年的时候，我来到了中国地质大学北京，硕士学位，方向是矿物学、岩石学、矿床学。同时呢，我又到了世界上最大矿业公司必和必拓去做矿产勘察以及做矿业领域的翻译。And I was jointly cultivated by China University of Geosciences, Chinese Academy of Sciences, and Miami University in the United States for my PhD degree. Specialized in geomicrobiology, interactions between bacteria and rocks. 那么我的博士呢是在中国地质大学还有中国科学院，前2年是这两所学校这两所机构呢联合培养，之后的1年半是在美国迈阿密大学地质系，学习的是地质微生物学专业。And I came back to China from the United States, worked for China Geological Survey, and responsible for international cooperation and compiling a whole bunch of mining investment books. 那我是从2009年底呢回到中国，在中国地质调查局当时工作，主要参与一些国际合作，还有国际矿业项目信息收集的工作。And in 2008, I registered Suntrans at the gate of Tsinghua University in Beijing and registered Suntrans Consulting LLC in New York. 我在2008年注册了阳光创意翻译公司，在2011年在纽约注册了阳光创意咨询公司。 And in the past 12 years, I have been in more than 30 countries to help Chinese companies to purchase mines or fields. 那么在过去这12年中，我帮助中国的矿业企业去到各个国家去收购矿山、油田。I have been in more than 30 countries. 我去了将近30多个国家。We also established several branch offices, respectively in Toronto, Canada, Lahore, Punjab Province, Pakistan, and Kampala, Uganda in Africa. 那么同时，我们也在加拿大多伦多、巴基斯坦、彭加坡省的拉赫尔，还有非洲乌干达的首都堪培拉，我们在几个地方呢也设立了一些办事处。And we provide not only translation in geology and but also we hold a lot of international conferences such as China International Mining Development Summits and China International Translation Summit. We help a lot. We invite a lot for clients, friends, share their failures, their successful stories, and also raise money for them. 那我们不但提供矿业领域的翻译，而且我们组织了一系列的国际会议，像中国国际矿业大会、中国国际矿业发展高峰论坛、中国国际翻译高峰论坛。我们帮助这些矿业企业去融资，帮助他们提升品牌影响力，brand building，品牌建设。同时，我们也在这个作为翻译领域也让大家分享了很多经验，这是我们所做的。And since February 20th, 2020, Miss Joe Martins and I gradually got started to collaborate to provide online conversational English training. On the one hand, we introduce certain foreign language learning skills. Sometimes we also introduce risks and opportunities for global mineral exploration and investment, trains, etc. And today we are going to talk about the future belongs to the youth, because today, as we know, today is very special. There are many reasons. One reason, I finished my postdoc at Beijing University, and today is the birthday 122nd anniversary of the founding Beijing University. I finished my postdoc at Beijing University, so I'm proud of this university and appreciated a lot to the culture of my professors and the university, and so it's one reason. The second is May 4th Day, or some people say Youth Day, just because there is a very important political event that happens in 1919. It's a long story. Anyway, youth generation is very important in the society, and it becomes a very important festival to celebrate. Okay, Joe, would you like to talk about your reason? Why do you choose today's topic? Please.
Well, I think so. As a society, as a country, China sees its youth as very valuable to the future of the country, and every year, of course, the youth doesn't even have this kind of concept. There is an international day, but there is a general youth type day in the U.S. But has recognized this for many, and it is true that the youth is the future in terms of, as we get older, we have things that were kind of thick a little bit, and over time, and we try to be open, but young people are generally just more open. They haven't been exposed to necessarily the same ideas or the same experience yet. And so for them, nothing is impossible.
Right.
They look at everything, energy production, climate, the environment in general, and even work, the way we work. And they look at it like, well, why can't we do it this way? Why? And when older generations like us say, because we've always done it this way. They say, that's not an answer. That's not an answer. So the youth have that future, hopefully, to look forward to. And each generation has an opportunity to shape it.
Yeah.
So this is not just a conversation celebrating youth, but also looking at how might they shape that future, and how can we help older generations to not discourage them, but instead encourage them to be their best.
Right. And today is very special, and as we know, my first generation. Firstly, I would like to talk about one thing, that is a lot of since last night until now. I mean, in China, in Europe it's early, it's deep night, but for us it's early morning. Since last night in China, one very short video is extremely has been very popular. That is Bilibili. The guy delivered a speech regarding, in the very beginning, the host asked one question. A lot of people say, every generation becomes weaker and weaker, not as stronger and stronger. And actually, in the host's opinion, with the development of the society, young generations always much stronger, much powerful than old generations. So in critical way, we must respect this young generation, and almost every WeChat public platform articles for everyone. VP is amounts to the readers. The number of the readers amounted to more than 100,000 for every paper, every videos last night, every video last night, since last night. So why? Just on the one hand, I think just because today is May 4th Youth Day. The other reason is when we have to admit that nowadays a lot of people always think they are seniors, they are experienced, and they are much more powerful. Actually, you have to admit that even in a lot of occasions, a lot of aspects, we have to learn a lot of knowledge from our young generations. Even sometimes, I don't have to exaggerate this point. Even in front of my son Gary, a lot of knowledge nowadays. I heard a lot of even science stories. He taught me a lot about that. For example, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, Mr. Joe Martins and I discussed. I remember we discussed about global warming. I think you still remember that topic, global warming, greenhouse effect, etc. And then after our conversation, I went back to my home. I discussed with my son, and he said he asked me another set of questions. Almost I couldn't understand. For example, he asked me, do you know where the air where the greenhouse is most obvious and dramatic? How to cure it? I say, I don't know. He said he told me several stories. You know, in the several countries and in the several poles, a lot of airs were polluted, and nowadays scientists have taken a lot of measures to deal with it. I asked him, how did you know? He told me he used Instagram and Douyin. He have mastered a lot of knowledge. Even I don't know. Sometimes one day I was trying to fix a machine at my home, and I couldn't deal with it. He told me, "Oh, it's a piece of cake. Let me do it." I later asked him, "How do you know? The way to fix it?" He told me he learned from mobile phone. When I asked me, "Please show me," usually for our old generation, we are 40 years or 30 years, 40 years or 50 years old. We usually form the habit to search certain keywords and even use our fingers to put words in our use our mobile phone. But my son, since he was only 4 years old, when he was using the mobile phone, he just used voice. Voice can change into words, and many years ago he formed the habit of convert the words into oral words into text, so that he can do it very quickly. And we have to admit that we must try to learn a lot of skills from the young generation. We cannot always say, "Oh, I accumulated a lot of experience, and you should learn from me." Maybe sometimes we should learn from each other. Even now, more and more occasions happens that the results demonstrate that we should learn from the young generation. Even he now he is only 4 years old. He has every generation people's opportunity is different. I told on the one hand, sometimes he also admired me. I told him when I was 10 years old, my job on the one hand I had to go to school. It's the same as you. It was the same as you have to the same in this point, but. And every day I have keep a lot of animals to feed sheep, cattle, and pigs, etc. Cattle, pigs, etc. And nowadays, when he is still very young, he can know a lot of information directly from the mobile phone. And he also traveled a lot of places in China, even foreign countries. But when I didn't leave my hometown, Dunhuang City, until when I went to university. I didn't leave my hometown until I was 18 years old. But my son is only 5 years old. He had gone to many different cities, even different countries. So in great degree, from generation to generation, the world is changing very fastly. So if some people always say, "Oh, I'm blah blah blah," if you think you have accumulated a lot of experience, in some degree, a lot of experience has been out of date, even useless. And nowadays, a lot of knowledge has changed the world. Even before and after, we can compare before and after the novel coronavirus outbreak. Before that, we had the habit. All of us have had the habit of have a meeting face to face, negotiate projects face to face, and teach students face to face. But after the novel coronavirus outbreak, we have to do everything online. Even Joe and I have to provide services online. We can communicate with a large number of people in a split second. Just stay at home. Nowadays, roughly about 60 audience are in our space, and we just stay in the office or stay at home. You are in America, I'm in China. Before the novel coronavirus pandemic, I never thought of this. So the world is changing so quickly. How can we dare say, oh, our accumulated experience is worthy of for you to learn? Actually, they can learn some, but we have to admit that more importantly, everyone has to learn. Even young generation can learn a lot of skills very quickly. For example, my son learned how to use mobile phone just a couple of days. He has now a lot of functions. But for my parents-in-law, they lived with us almost 10 years. But nowadays they have gone back to their hometown. But when I sent smartphones as gift to them, it is I dislike that. I told them, don't use that antiques anymore. It's out of date. But no, it's too complicated. I don't know how to use it. But later, few weeks later, my parents-in-law, day and night they were using a smartphone, and they feel it's so amazing. I can listen to music, so many songs, and a lot of pictures, so convenient. So I think the society is making great progress. No matter young generation or old generation, one important attitude for us is mentally or psychologically, we must keep open-minded to the society. Everything is changing. You cannot use one kind of knowledge or experience to use forever. Everything is changing. If you don't learn, you are out of date. So in great degree, open-minded is very necessary for everyone. So would you like to talk about your opinion